Hello, sports fans. Welcome to another sports talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. Thank you for those who will join us on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica, and those who have joined us via the radio. Hello, welcome, 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 welcome. As you can hear from my voice, as in I'm sounding a bit, excited because it is a lot of things, will happen, are about to happen. Yeah, man, the season is heating up. The sports season is heating up. So let me just see if I can do like a breakdown. So West Indies would have completed their series against South Africa, their T20 warm-up series for the World Cup, for the T20 World Cup, which actually begins tomorrow. They would have completed that series in Jamaica last Sunday. Also, they would have played Australia on Thursday night. Yes, and would have won, which would have been their last warm-up match heading into the T20 World Cup. And then they will kick off their T20 World Cup campaign tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Jamaica time against Papua New Guinea. All right, so that's one. Then we had the NBA finalists, or the other finalists being decided. Boston Celtics, they would have booked their spot in the finals after sweeping the Indiana Pacers for love. And then the Dallas Mavericks, the Timberwolves would have won one match, so they would have defeated the Timberwolves 4-1 in that series. And so the NBA finals will be the Dallas Mavericks versus the Boston Celtics. Okay. Then yesterday we had Diamond League in Oslo. Tomorrow will be Stockholm. Then today, this evening at 7 o'clock, all roads lead to the National Stadium as the Racers Grand Prix will kick off this evening at the National Stadium in Jamaica. Then the Reggae Boys, yes, the squad has been named for the Reggae Boys in terms of the matches coming up at the National Stadium this week. So next week, so June 6th and June 9th. And we'll talk about that in terms of what we think about the squad and all of that. Then today at 2 o'clock, the UEFA Champions League will kick off. Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund. Big. And then, everything else in between. I'm just saying, it is a fantastic time to be a sports fan. And if you're a sports fan like me, then our radios, televisions, live streams will be stuck on sports, as we will be getting sports, and more sports for this weekend, but not only for this weekend, but going into next week. And so you really kind of feel like things are moving towards us getting to the Olympics, getting ourselves into the spirit of sports. As that's one of the things that the Olympics create. It creates for you, persons like me who love sports, but persons who are not familiar with sports, it gets you to try to learn different sports. So it may be a gymnastics. Okay, this string will just leave me alone. Okay, it may be a gymnastics, or it may be equestrian, or it may be baseball. It may be basketball, but because you do know, if you didn't know, fun fact, the NBA regulations that they use in terms of how they mark the field for basketball is not the international regulations for basketball in terms of how they mark the court. So the circles and the area of play is a little bit smaller for international in terms of basketball. So it's always interesting to see how these NBA players, superstars, kind of transition to like a smaller court. It may be volleyball. I mean, there's archery, there's maybe swimming, there's so many things, there's so many sports that the Olympics have opened itself to in terms of the different sports that take part in the Olympics. And of course, closer to the Olympics, we'll be talking or we'll be looking at a coming up, soon in our Olympic feature. When we do begin our Olympic feature, which will be soon, we'll be looking at the different sports, how they came along, how they were in terms of how long now they are part of the Olympics. And of course, for the viewers and the interested persons, we will leave track and field for last. But we also want to hear what's going on in terms of the other sports leading up to the Olympics, so that you will be able, when you're watching, to have some basic knowledge as to what it is that goes on that way. Anyway, so we got 1 hour to do this, so let's get it together and let's do this now, because we have lots and lots to talk about, and I have quite a bit to discuss today. So let's just jump right into it, and I will jump right in with the squad selected, the Reggae Boys squad selected. So let's start with, so we're starting off with football, and we're gonna start off with the Reggae Boys squad, and then we'll go into the Champions League. So all right, so let's see, because this squad was released yesterday. There are some players who are missing for varied reasons, and you will hear that shortly. And so, right, so Reggae Boys squad for the World Cup qualifiers for 2020, the 2026 World Cup qualifiers. And those qualifiers, as I said, will take place on June 6th, which is, I'm about to tell you what day it is, June 6th, which is Thursday, and then June 9th, which is next week, Sunday. All right, so goalkeepers, you have Shaquan Davis, Jaden Hibbert, Kanaya, Bryce Clark, Jamal Waite. Defenders, Lambisky, Bernard, Lay, Lowe, Hector, King, Gray, Bell. In the midfield, you have Palmer Anderson, Bobby Reed, Daniel Johnson, Alex Marshall, Adrian Reed Jr., the youngster, and Kevin Lambert. And then you have Shamar Nicholson, Ronaldo Cephas, Mikel Antonio. Good to see him back in the Reggae Boys squad. Deshaun Beckford, Kaheem Dixon. Good to see Kaheem getting called up for the national squad as well. Corey Burke and Devontae Campbell. Of course, good to see Devontae being called up as well. So from our Jamaica Premier League system, there are 6 players included in this squad. Now, there are some players who were not in the squad, like Whisper. Well, the captain, Andre Blake, he's out because he's injured. Whisper is out because he has a niggle as well. Demarai Gray also out because he also has an injury. And all those players who are currently absent, they are hoping that they will be able to be prepared for the Copa America, which starts later this month. So hopefully, Demarai Gray, Whisper, and the others who are absent, they will be able to make the team. Obviously, another person who is missing from the team would be Leon Bailey. And before this, he would have expressed that he did not want to be, or he will want to take a break from international football. And so, based on what the coach has said, there's no hard feelings between him and Leon Bailey. And so, he understands that, he wants to take a break, and I guess we all have to be fine with that. But hopefully, soon enough, he will be back in the national colors. Another interesting thing that Cole Holgrimson said is in terms of our pitch and what it is like. And he was saying, our boys playing at home sometimes put them at a disadvantage, because where they play, sometimes, our national field is like not even the training pitch that they play for, to play for their different clubs. Not even, they're not as bad. So it does mean that, IPL, which you guys know that I have a ongoing issue with, especially what happened 2 Sundays ago in the Jamaica Premier League finals, and how IPL allowed an entity to use the field the day before for a sports day and left the field marked, visible marks. And we had the biggest competition in the country. The finals would have been the following day. And I thought to myself that, it was irresponsible for IPL to not be doing their due diligence to ensure that the pitch would have been ready. And hearing Coach Holgrimson come and say no, that the pitch is not really that good, and it really needs to, in not so many words, but it means that we have to do some investment to get our pitch up to quality international standards, so when our Jamaican players come at home, that they can be playing with an advantage, right? Because other than the local players, when the international players come to play for Jamaica, they're not used to the pitch and the rocks and all of the things that they will encounter when they're on the pitch. So they're used to pitches that are well taken care of, well polished, well everything. So that's something that we have to look into. That is something that continues to be a concern, because right now the national stadium stands as what, if you want to call it, almost the entertainment hub between it and Sabina Park, are the places that are used to host big events. And so at some point we will have to make a decision to say, this is not able to be kept here, or this is not able to be kept here, so that when our footballers need it, or even our athletes need it in terms of track and field, and as well, because there are track and field in terms of events taking place, javelin and the discus and the hammer throw, what type of damage that also causes to the field, because those are field events, which would in terms of take place on the football part of the field itself. So we will and the shot put, we will have to be doing some sort of checks and balance. IPL will have to start doing better checks and balance on the field. I mean, having seen what happened in terms of for the JPL finals, it shows that somebody somewhere is not doing their job. Not only that, but then we heard in terms of CONCACAF saying, well, your lights are not up to standard, so they had to send to buy lights. And I think this has been my complaints, because the lights at the starting line at the 400 meter, they have been out for a little while now. And it is obvious that nobody was paying it any attention, because I mean, when you go to the national stadium, or if you go to the national stadium as often as I do, and other persons do, especially in the evenings, you will know that right there over where they would have dubbed the KC spot of the stadium, right at the 400 meter start, that around there is dark, because the lights there, they do not work. So we have heard that they have ordered the lights, and the lights are due to come next week. So hopefully they will come in time for the match. If not, then it will not be able to not host the game, but the game will have to be an earlier game if it is that the lights are not up to standard. And that is the reality of the situation with sports in Jamaica. I don't think the administrators of sports in Jamaica really take it seriously. We really treat it as if it is, I don't know, riffraff. That like we just treat it as if it's not important. And this affects not just only the players and generally the athletes, but this just affects our image. People wanting to come to international matches, different teams, because they know that, hey, if they come to a pitch that is substandard, it means that there's a possibility that their players might get injured. And I'm sure that is why sometimes the England players don't want to come to play when we're playing in Jamaica, because they know that we have a substandard pitch and the likelihood of getting injured that's very possible. As has happened to Leon Bailey, as has happened to Mikel Antonio, and the list goes on. I digress right here. When we come back on Sports Talk, we're going to be talking about the Champions League finals that will kick off at 2 o'clock Jamaica time. We'll be right back here on Sports Talk, right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
Who supervises licensed deposit-taking institutions? Licensed deposit-taking institutions are regulated and supervised by Bank of Jamaica and are members of the Deposit Insurance Scheme. There are 8 commercial banks, 2 building societies, and 1 merchant bank. This financial literacy tip was brought to you by Bank of Jamaica, building an inclusive economy.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
LARC, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least.
My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 9681632 to find out more about the LARC.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Get ready for another inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer. This Monday, June 3. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the future becoming you. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick Me Up devotional at 6 a.m. Cruise with Love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we discuss brain fog. And at 9:30, we wrap things up with something more, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. So stick and stay with us. This Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Make sure you're money up.
Every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. on Love 101, you're invited to listen to The Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie. There is life beyond the surface, life that is divine, life that is eternal, and you can hear the truth of God's word and go deeper in purpose. Revival of Truth with Bishop Augustine Odie, Sundays 2:30 to 3 p.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. The name is Kathya. I don't think I said that at the beginning, but I only think that you guys know my name by now, right? But I still can remind you. Cool. All right, great. So as I said before we went to the break, the UEFA Champions League finals will be coming up at that math. You can do the math, 2 o'clock Jamaica time. And I know a lot of the fans are excited, especially, football is a male-dominated, supported sport. So, yes, finals would be with the Real Madrid. Hello to all the Real Madrid fans out there. All the best to your team. And Borussia Dortmund. Hello to all the Borussia Dortmund fans. I'm not even sure how many Jamaicans are really Borussia Dortmund fan. I was trying to do like a temperature check on the different socials. I don't know. They might like players on Borussia Dortmund, but like Sancho and Hummels, but I don't know how many Jamaicans are really Borussia Dortmund fans. A lot of them tend if they are supporting a fan in Bundesliga for it to be Bayern Munich. But okay, hi to the Borussia Dortmund fans. We are looking forward to an exciting game coming up at 2 o'clock. So, Real Madrid, they have won the Champions League 14 times and they're looking for their 15th title, while Borussia Dortmund will be looking for their second title in the Champions League. Based on what Coach Ancelotti would have said to reporters, he said, the Champions League final is the most important and the most dangerous one. And he spoke about luck being a part of it, and you play well, or it's never to lower your guard when you reach the final success. So it comes close and then you start worrying. Real Madrid, they would have beat holders Manchester City on penalties in the last 8 and scored 2 late goals in the second leg of their semi-final to edge past Bayern Munich. He spoke about the Champions League being a double-edged sword, and which you need to enjoy it to the maximum, but then the concern starts that something could go wrong in the final, and because you're so close to something that's important. And he, highlighted some of the players who he thought would have been important. It says that he said that they're, their ultimate opponent. There's nothing bigger in the Champions League with their success and their history. But if we do believe, then we could say stay in Dortmund. So that was Dortmund quote saying that, he believes that the Real Madrid is a big team. And of course, Real Madrid across the world is a big team. They've won 14 Champions League titles. So they are a good team to go up against. They have, in terms of like Courtois coming back for the finals, I think Lunin, their regular goalkeeper would have suffered an illness, and so Courtois comes into the finals for Real Madrid. Then they have Modric and Caraval and Cruz, and so and those people would have won with them 6 out of the 11 years. So Real Madrid does have a history of when they get to the finals of a Champions League, to win it, and that is, it is hard, I would say, to bet against a team like Real Madrid, but Borussia Dortmund, except for they've lost only one game of their entire domestic thing for 2023-2024. So they have had a great season, and I don't think Borussia Dortmund, especially after losing the other day to some unknown side, I call it. Borussia Dortmund lost to some unknown side the other day. I don't think they would let the Champions League just come and just slit them away. And their coach has also said it. They would have gone into their 1997 finals, which is the only title they've won in the Champions League. And they beat at the time, they would have been underdog to Juventus, and they'll beat Juventus 3-1 in the final, that happened in Munich. This Champions League final will be taking place in London, at the Wembley Stadium. That is Arsenal Stadium, and that's why I think a lot of people will be like, it would have been nice to have Manchester City, in the Champions League. But we're here now. Is Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund, so we just have to deal with that. Not just have to deal with that, but you get what I'm saying. Then you talk about so you talk about Bellingham and Sancho. You talk about those players who you expect to star for their for the different teams. And of course, because Jadon Sancho, having been left out of his own country's 2024 Euro squad, which I'm yeah, we will talk about that. When we get to Euro 2024, you will hear my thoughts on that English team. But he has not, I mean, he has played okay, but not like star type of thing. So, but I do expect him as the player he is to rise to the occasion for his team. And so it's really just, it will really just come as to who will hold their heads into the finals later today. The truth is, and let me see what's going on. Right. The truth is that these are two very good teams. Real Madrid, they're looking for their 15th title. Borussia Dortmund, they're looking for their second title. In this case, I would say Borussia Dortmund would be the underdog. Uh, it's kind of hard because Dortmund, they have been just a spectacular team throughout the season. I mean, having gone and only lost one match for the entire season is like a great feat. Only been done by one or two clubs in the history of football. And then you have Real Madrid, who I would say still have what you would call a transitioning team, because there are a lot of players who I don't think will return next season for Real Madrid. So to see almost, I wouldn't say like a young Borussia Dortmund, but a younger Borussia Dortmund against this Real Madrid team who is, you would still say, rebuilding, but still will be losing players. And everybody wants to play La Liga. Everybody wants to go to Real Madrid or Barcelona. So to have again them culminate in a finals like this is just, I think, will be a fantastic time come at 2 o'clock. So I say, wherever you can, at 2 o'clock. See, a lot of things are telling you to watch. I hope you guys are watching the games, right? So 2 o'clock, Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Can't say I never tell you. It will be an exciting match. Even though when I think about some Champions League finals, though, I prefer if the match goes down to penalties. But because I say in penalties, it's really who's the team who is mentally prepared and not necessarily the best side. But I think head to head, both teams are pretty even. Real Madrid might have a slight advantage, especially with Bellingham. But let's see how Dortmund kind of deals with who will dominate the midfield. I think that will determine who wins this match today. Whichever team dominates the midfield, I think that's a team that will walk away with the Champions League Cup this year. As I said, I don't know how many Borussia Dortmund fans are there in Jamaica. If you are, hello. And I'm sure after this Champions League, maybe some Jamaicans will find it to become Borussia Dortmund fans. Not me though, but just saying. Some persons will find it to become Borussia Dortmund fans. So as I said, the game comes up at 2 o'clock today. So that's something that will be interesting. You will find most of the sports places full, as and the anticipation for the Champions League finals comes up. So yeah, so may the best team win. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna say Real Madrid will win their 15th title, and they will beat for Dortmund their second loss for the season. Yeah, I'm not gonna go the underdogs. I'm actually gonna go with Real Madrid. So yeah, that's it as relates to the Champions League finals, and we will talk about it next week and the results and the highs and the lows of the finals. We're gonna go for another break. When we come back, we're gonna be talking about track and field. Yes, track and field. Right here on the Family Station, Love 101 Sports Talk. We'll be right back.
H&L Rapid True Value is having a blowout sale. We're slashing prices on all 1-inch lumber, form, ply, blocks, 2x4x16 treated lumber for only $1,658. Selected 18-inch tiles, only $168. Bathroom combo, shower enclosures, and much more. Come in store today and get blown away by these great deals. Available for a limited time only. Conditions apply. Start right. Start here. H&L Rapid True Value.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
Lark, long-acting reversible contraceptives.
I made my choice 6 years ago. I have an IUCD, also called copper T, and it will go and protect me from pregnancy for another 4 years at least.
My choice was an implant. It lasts for 5 years. And when I'm ready for a baby, I just make doctor take it out. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 9681632 to find out more about the Lark.
Think ahead, make a plan. You got the freedom of choice.
On Monday, June 3 at 5:30 p.m., right here on Love 101, Family Time will look at the topic being chaste during courtship. Our special guest, Reverend Dr. Carla Dunbar, will look at a premarital life of chaste, content, disciplined singleness is a beautiful life, but very few people, even Christians, seem to be able to hold out. Yet we're still expected to take responsibility for our purity. It's hard. So we have the tips and tricks to keep you until you reach the altar. That's Family Time, Monday, June 3 at 5:30 p.m. Brought to you by Love 101 in association with Family Life Ministries. Family Time is on the family station, Love 101. It's another time to move inside alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. This Make Me Move Monday, June 3. Get ready for the brain testing Menticize at 1:45. Then at 2 o'clock, we ring in the prayer bells of heaven with our prayer blast feature. 2:15 inside Body Talk. We explore multiple sclerosis. So join us Monday, June 3 for another information-packed program about your health. You can't afford to miss it. Then at 3:15 inside What Does the Bible Say? Join us as we look at another mind-blowing topic to help us defend our faith with our usual presenter, Jackie Saunders. All this and more will come your way. This Make Me Move Monday with your host, Sarah and the Chirpy One. It's alive, 1 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday, June 3 on the family station, Love 101.
ILS is coming.
Hot button issues and insights. The latest developments in health. Your questions answered. 30 minutes of talk with Minister of Health and Wellness Dr. Christopher Tufton and members of the Health and Wellness team discussing solutions to your burning questions, hearing your views and concerns. Every Friday at 11 a.m. on Love 101. You've got questions? Then call in for answers. That's On the Pulse with Public Health. Fridays at 11 a.m. right here on the family station. Love 101.
Love 101 presents the morning news Monday to Friday at 6:30 a.m. Listen as we share local and international stories, followed by a 5-minute presentation from the Caribbean News Desk.
So you want the latest news from your Caribbean neighbors? Well, tune in to the Caribbean News Desk on this your favorite radio station. A 5-minute news summary of the big stories across the region. The Caribbean News Desk, weekly mornings on this station and across the Caribbean.
It's current, it's informative, it's Love 101 FM's morning news and the Caribbean News Desk feature. 6:30 a.m. Monday to Friday on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the family station, Love 101 FM. And before the break, we were talking about the Champions League final that comes up at 2 o'clock. But now we're going to shift gears and we're going to look at some track and field. Yes, track and field. So later on, the Racers Grand Prix will start at 7 p.m. right here at the National Stadium, right? But before that, yesterday, we had some of our athletes participating in the Oslo Diamond League. We didn't do well, the performances were okay. I think there was one kind of concerning performance, and that came from Sharika Jackson. But other than that, I think the other performances, let me not say expected, but maybe expected. So we'll start off. We had Rashid McDonald. He went off in the 400 meters. He finished 8th in a time of 47.60 seconds. I mean, McDonald really having won that bronze medal from the World Indoors has been blowing hot and cold. So I am not quite so alarmed of his performance, if you get me. Not too alarmed. Then the next Jamaican who participated yesterday was Frederick Dakers. He finished 6th in the men's discus throw with a throw of 65.06 meters. Still a little off from his season's best, and he's thrown 66.30 meters so far. So, I mean, he's still a little off, as I said, from his season's best, but I'm hoping that he will be able to, you know, get a little better as the season progresses. Then you had I'll get back to Sharika's results because I want to talk about that last. You had in the 100 meters, we had Rohan Watson and Ewan Blake. They came 6th and 7th in the 100 meters. Rohan Watson, he ran a time of 10.23 meters, 23 seconds, my apologies. And Ewan Blake finished 7th in 10.29 seconds. Again, still off their season's best. I mean, well, it was a season best for Rowan Watson because his season best before was 10.25 seconds. So he has improved his season best 2 seconds, but not sure in terms of how much like better he will get. I'm not sure how much faster and if he will break 10 seconds this season. Of course, Johan has already run 10.16 so far this season. So him running 10.29, again, it depends on the conditions and all of that. But still somebody, I mean, he's really been blowing hot and cold for this season so far. In the women's 400 meter hurdles, we had a clean sweep in that event. That event was won by Rochelle Clayton. She ran 44.02 seconds, a little off her season's best. Her season's best is 53.72 seconds. Andrew Knight won in a season's best. She came 2nd in a season's best time of 54.83 seconds, while Geneve Russell, she came 3rd in a season's best time of 55.07 seconds. And so we can see some sort of improvement coming from our girls in the 400 meter hurdles, with Russia kind of putting up her hand and saying, I want to get on that plane to Paris. I'm not only, but, be able to go to Paris and be competitive. I mean, Sydney McLaughlin, she ran in a meet, it was yesterday as well, a world leading time. And also there's also Femke Bol from as well from the Netherlands. So I mean, Rochelle just getting her groove in terms of getting to races on. So I'm looking forward to what she will do come to the national trials. And then of course going back to Sharika Jackson's race, Sharika Jackson, she would have finished 5th yesterday in 22.97 seconds. Her season best 22.82. In the pre-race press, she would have said that she's looking to see how she can lower her personal best, which is 21.45 seconds in the 200 meters this season. So I'm going to trust Stephen Francis. I'm going to trust Paul Francis. I'm going to say that they know what they're doing. So, but I mean, while she might get away with a time. My concern is while they're getting her ready for the 200 meters, my concern is the 100 meters because is she going to double and what that's going to look like for her? Because I mean, really and truly, I don't see anybody running less than 10.95 seconds getting on, or less than 10.95 seconds getting on that plane for the 100 meters to Paris. So it's now 4 weeks to go to the national championships. We've saw Elaine ran last week. She finished 8th. We haven't seen Mrs. Shelley and Fraser Price as yet. So it is still a cat and mouse game for some of our top athletes, some of our top names. But I'm sure that their coaches, they will get it together. So we continue to look forward to the performances that they will do. Now, later on, the Racers Grand Prix, as I said, kicks off at 7 p.m. starting with the long jump finals. Then you will have the 400-meter hurdles, and we can talk about some of the athletes that we can look to see in the long jump finals. There will be Joseph Ramy from the England, Sean D. Thompson from Jamaica, Laquan Narine from Bahamas, Isaiah Holmes from the USA, Tajay Gale, Jamaican, Williams from USA, and Emmanuel Archibald from Guyana. In the 400-meter hurdles for women, we will have Bianca Stubler from the USA, Yannick Smith from Turks and Caicos, Rhonda White from Jamaica, Gianna Woodruff from Panama, Cheyenne Salmon from Jamaica, Cassandra Tate from the USA, Tia Adana Bell from Barbados, and Deshae Wise from the USA. In the discus throw, we're gonna be seeing Chad Hendricks, Monroe student. He will, and another student as well, Shaquin Dunn from JC, Andrew Evans from USA, Chad Wright from Jamaica, Reggie Jaggers from the USA, Travis Michael from Jamaica, and Alex Rose from Samoa. In the 400-meter finals for women, we will see Stephanie Ann McPherson from Jamaica, Ashley Williams, Jamaica, Cherokee Young, Jamaica, Lena Jackson from USA, Stacey Ann Williams, Jamaica, Aliyah Abrams, Guyana, Janelle Bromfield, Jamaica, and Candice McLeod from Jamaica. In the 400 meters men, we will see Javon Francis, Jamaica, Rashawn Clark, Jamaica, Zandrian Barnes, Jamaica, Emmanuel Bambidl from Nigeria, Demish Gay, Jamaica, Antonio Watson, Jamaica, Champion Allison from USA, and Elijah Gooden from the USA. Moving on, in the high jump, we will see Django Lovett from Canada, Dontavius Hill from the USA, and this is the high jump, Raymond Watson Richards from the Jamaica, Sean Miller from Bahamas, Christoph Bryan from Jamaica, Roberto Vilches from Mexico, LaShawn Wilson from Jamaica, or LaShane, and then Donald Thomas from Bahamas. And then in 200-meter finals for women, Kashika Cameron, Jamaica, Judine Williams, Jamaica, Kennedy Blackman, USA, Ashanti Moore, Jamaica, Candace Hill, USA, Lantavia Thomas, or Lanetava Thomas from Jamaica, and Chandler from the USA. And then the triple jump finals for men, we'll obviously see young sensation world under 20 record holder Jaden Hibbert. The rest of the field includes Damon Williams from Guyana, Maddie Cunningham from Jamaica, Kawane Culmer from the Bahamas, O'Brien Wasom from Jamaica, Chris Carter from the USA, and Jordan Scott from Jamaica. And then in the hurdles, we'll have Brianna Campbell from Jamaica, Amoy Brown from Jamaica, Crystal Morrison from Jamaica, Tally Bonds, Devin Charlton from the Bahamas, Yanni Thompson from Jamaica, Megan Tapper from Jamaica, and Michelle Harrison from Jamaica. Akira Nugent, she would have pulled out of this event with a post that she would have made yesterday to say that she will not be in Jamaica. We're not sure of the situation right now and hoping to get an update to see if she's injured or she just didn't make the flight. Odaria Phillips, this is the men's 110-meter hurdles. Michael Dixon from the USA, Orlando Bennett, Trey Cunningham from the USA, Rashid Broadbell, Freddie from USA, Tyler Mason, and Robert Dunning from the USA. And then moving on now to the headline events, the 100-meter finals for women will see Tina Clayton from Jamaica, Crystal Slowly from Jamaica, who significantly improved her personal best at the Jamaica Athletics Invitational to 11.09 seconds. So we'll see how she will follow up at this event. Julian Alfred from St. Lucia, Alana Reed from Jamaica, Micah Briscoe from USA, Sasha Lee Forbes from Jamaica, Kemba Nelson from Jamaica, and Ramona Burchell from Jamaica. And in the men's 100-meter finals, we will see Taekwondo Tracy from Jamaica, Kendall Williams from Jamaica, USA Oblique Civil from Jamaica, Zarnell Hughes from Great Britain, Noah Lyles from USA, Ferdinand Omenyala from Kenya, Kadron Golson from Jamaica, and Josephus Lyles, that's Noah Lyles' brother from Jamaica. So, yeah, man, the 100 meters race is stacked, packed, and will be an exciting time later on at the National Stadium at the Racers Grand Prix. We're going to take our final break right here on the show for this week, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about cricket, lovely cricket.
My Mega Mart, best value by far.
With so much to do in one location, make Mega Mart your one-stop shop. Pick up your groceries and houseware needs, grab a bite and pay some bills, fill your prescriptions and see the beauty products in our pharmacy, all in one amazing location. My Mega Mart, the best value by far.
My Mega Mart, best value by far.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. Whether your friend or your family, somebody in your community, people living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Get ready for another inspiring time inside Love in the Morning with me, your host, Jakal Dyer. This Monday, June 3. Listen throughout the show for tips on how to become the best version of who you are in the future becoming you. Grab your cup of coffee and start the day right with the Morning Coffee Pick Me Up devotional at 6 a.m. Cruise with Love on your radio at 7 a.m. inside Drive Time Jammings with great music to lift your day. At 8:30 a.m. inside The Healthy Way, we discuss brain fog. And at 9:30, we wrap things up with something more, brought to you by the Faith Cathedral Deliverance Center. So stick and stay with us. This Pick Me Up Monday inside Love in the Morning, 5 to 10 a.m. on the family station, Love 101.
Make sure your body up.
On Tuesday, June 4, The Rock will look at the topic marriage. The definition is really simple. Marriage is a legally or formally recognized union of a man and a woman as partners in a personal relationship. But when it comes to the nitty-gritty, what is marriage? Where are the thin lines and the broad strokes? How does a marriage really last? 50, 60, 70 years? And what is allowed in God's eyes and which marriages get his approval touch? It's The Rock. Tuesday, June 4, 10 a.m. with guest Minister Carl Morrison and Lakim Samaj. The Rock is on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to Sports Talk right here on the Family Station. The name is Kathya, and we are in the last stretch of the show. And it is time to talk about cricket, lovely cricket. Yes, yes, yes. The ICC World T20 begins tomorrow and will be taking place across the Caribbean, except for Jamaica, and also in the USA. I have to put in that because I think the Jamaican people, while I would have loved more support for the boys last week for the T20 series against South Africa, it showed me, based on the support that the boys got, that people are still interested. Yes, people are still interested in West Indies cricket. And we should have done better again to try to host at least a group stage match in Jamaica. But that's not what we're about to talk about. We're about to talk about the West Indies' chances for the T20 World Cup. The standings out, and West Indies in the ICC rankings. They're now fourth, moving from sixth in the ICC T20 ranking. That will be a big boost for the boys going into this T20 World Cup. We got news last week that Jason Holder unable to participate in the T20 World Cup because of an injury that he has picked up, and so he will be replaced by Obed McCoy in the side. And that is big news. It is big news because Jason Holder, I mean, one of the top persons in terms of cricket. So, yes, so tomorrow West Indies will have their first match. It will be against Papua New Guinea. It will kick off at 9:30 Jamaica time. Will be held at the Guyana National Stadium. And I'm just looking forward to a wonderful T20 tournament. And I really think that the West Indies, it's really them against everybody, because I really think that we have the firepower, we have the batting power, the bowling power, all the power. Yeah, yes, we have all the power to come home, bring home, stay home with the ICC trophy. The test side will be captained by a Jamaican, Rovman Powell. I say, when persons ask me in terms of my opinion as it relates to the squad and who do I think, who will make the starting 11, especially for the first game tomorrow, I would go with, of course, Captain Rovman Powell, and I will also go with Azari Joseph. Then Nicholas Puran, Gudakesh Moti, and I'm going also for Jamaicans Andre Russell and Brandon King, Shea Hope, Hetmeyer, Ruston Chase Charles, and I think I would go also with Akil Hussein, and where am I going? Oh yeah, so I think I don't think that was quite 11, but that's really what I think should be the starting 11 for tomorrow. Now, I want to see. I mean, Johnson Charles. I would love to see Johnson Charles and Brandon King opening. I really think that Brandon King has made a big statement to say, "Pick me, I am me." Held up his hand to say, "I am good at the top of the order, so put me there." I think Johnson Charles on Sunday in Jamaica showed that he is able to make runs. And if we get a good start, listen, if it is that we get a good start, 90, 80, 70 of the first 6 overs, I see us making in excess of 200 runs. And I see us winning every single game with a batting first or chasing, because I think one of the concerns over the years have been that West Indies have been a chasing side. But in Kingston, we would have seen the West Indies, they would have batted twice first, And then they would have chased down last Sunday against South Africa. On Thursday, they would have batted first against Australia. They've set a big score of 257 that Australia was not able to chase down. And so I think it is West Indies in terms of T20 has become more tactical, which I can appreciate. It's not just, oh, we're just gonna go and hit everything for 4 or hit everything for 6, but I'm seeing, the lessening of the dot balls, the running in between the wicket, the 1s and the 2s and the 3s, because that does also add to the score. I think there was some thinking in West Indies cricket that 1s, 2s, and 3s don't add to the score. Somehow the math wasn't mathing for us, but it was good to see in terms of having personally went to the match on Sunday and seeing the team. You can see that there's a level of confidence that exists within the team, and we're just hoping that that can translate into the West Indies winning the T20 World Cup. You also see that our fielding has improved. It has gotten better, and that is very important in T20 because you want to save all the runs that you can in terms of for a team, for the fielding team, whether you're chasing or you're batting, or whether you're chasing or you are the one fielding first or fielding second. That's what I mean. But yeah, so I'm personally looking forward to the T20 World Cup. I think the West Indies chance is very good. India too have a fantastic side, and so Afghanistan, they have a good side. Pakistan have a good side. The Australian side is good, but I'm not sure that they have been like dominant as they used to be. But you don't bet against champions, and that's what I say. But I'm not betting against my West Indies side. I think we ready, as in West Indies ready, just in case you're not on social, so you don't know the reference. I think that we win and we play and we win. That's it. Definitely looking forward. I'm hoping that even from our support here, I'm looking forward to see who will set up for us to watch the games, because some of these games you can't just watch them in the comfort of your home. And while we would have to do that in Jamaica, I'm hoping that there are different spots that will be set up across the country where we can gather as a people to take in some of these games. I mean, I'm totally looking forward to this West Indies World Cup. I love the squad. I love the balance in the squad. And as I would have said, my starting 11 will continue to be the 3 Jamaicans. That's Ruffman, Brandon, and Andre, and anybody else. The 3 Jamaicans and anybody else, and we win everything. We will win everything. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I hope you were able to join into the conversation to tell me what you think in terms of West Indies cricket, how you think we will do. Were you excited for the games that took place in Jamaica? Are you looking forward to the West Indies hosting the World Cup? We hear about some of the places having issues in terms of the pitches, but we're hoping that all will be well. We always hear these news ahead of competitions, so it's we know that the teams and the different personnels, they will ensure that everything is up to scratch. So yeah, I mean, it's just World Cup, West Cricket World Cup, especially T20. I say, if you want to be introduced to cricket and you think cricket is boring, watch T20, and that will kind of bring you into it. Went with some friends on Sunday where they were so excited. It was their first cricket match. They were so excited, and they're like, when is the next match? Because it was that exciting and it didn't last long. Trust me, it's only 3 to 4 hours, not a long time. Don't take a long time out of your day. All right, so That's it for Sports Talk today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Of course, if you'd like to listen to this show again, you can go to our Facebook or YouTube page, Love 101 FM Jamaica. You can also download the Love 101 FM app that is available in the App Store or the Google Play Store. We do this every Saturday between the hours of 1 to 2 p.m. This has been Sports Talk. Have a fantastic weekend. Ensure you go to the National Stadium to watch the Racers Grand Prix and ensure that you watch tomorrow's match, West Indies versus Papua New Guinea, the first match in the T20 World Cup hosted by the Caribbean and the Americans. Have a fantastic rest of the afternoon. This has been Sports Talk. Bye-bye.